Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to Kiki's Kitchen. It has been a week. I've been in Charleston. I've got to see my kids. And they are not my grandchildren. They are it's my great nephew and my great nieces. I didn't get to see my my youngest ones, but I did get to see my Raleigh and my Benjamin. I missed my Daisy and my Lily this time. Have to see them next time. And I got to see my nieces, their mamas, and my sister, so it was a great week. We got to go thrifting. You saw my wonderful deals. Oh, it was fun. And we went for the very first time to one of the Amazon return places called Where You Been, and it's just bins of stuff. So on the one day it starts out at a $15 day, the next day it's like a $10 day, blah blah blah, down to a 25-cent day. So we went on the $3 day and the $1 day, and we really had fun. So I'm back home, just got home from church, and I'm going to throw something quick on, and it is going to be germane to this month because it is corned beef and cabbage, and of course that's what St. Patrick's is all about. I will be doing a St. Patrick's show because we love corned beef. Period. We love it. And it makes wonderful sandwiches, you know, a Rueben sandwich. We just love it. So this time of year, it's really on sale. So we got one. We're going to do it for just us. And then we usually do one for our Bible group. So this is what I wanted to show you. I got it at Aldi. It's on sale right now for $2.99 a pound, which is nice. This is a 3.5 pound piece, and it is a point cut. I'll tell you the difference between that in just a second. I want to get this in here and then I'll get back here. So all I'm going to do now, I want you to see the stuff that it's in, right? This is just brine. This is not blood. This is brine. And I like this in with because this is part of the flavor. So I'm going to cut my bag over, and I have a nice big pot. It's certainly bigger than what I really need, but it's a nice big pot. And because this is gonna cook for probably 3 hours, we're gonna just boil it in water. I've done it. I've baked it before. I've done it with beer before. Boiling it in water with the little packet, the flavor packet that comes with it. At the end of the day, that's my favorite way to do it. It's easy, and all you do is you dump everything in here. And I want all of that brine in here. Gives it flavor. If you rinse it off, you're rinsing off your flavor. And it is not blood. I reiterate. So in here somewhere, this one doesn't have a seasoning packet. They normally do, so even more so, do you want the brine? Nope, there is no seasoning packet. Normally, there's a little seasoning packet that has mustard seeds and all that kind of stuff. I will kind of put my own in here in just a second. I've never seen one without one. So when you open it, there will be a little packet in here. Open the packet, put it in here, and cover this with water. Hang on 1 second. I gotta wash my hands. Whoops. Okay, so my hands are washed. What I did was I filled this, and I'm going to put this down in here so you can see. I have my big pot. This is like 16 quarts. So, so you can see that I have filled it that much, probably whatever that is, above my meat. And the reason is it doesn't need that much meat, but I'm going to add, or it doesn't need that much water, but I'm going to add, after about 2 hours, I'm going to add cabbage and carrots and potatoes and onions. So I want it to have some place to go. So, and as I said, don't worry about the spice combination that I've got here because it will come with it. Why this didn't, I have no idea. So, but it will always have a spice packet in here. So what's in it, just so you know, is a bay leaf. Usually it's whole allspice, but I only had ground, so that's what I'm using. Black peppercorn, mustard seeds, ground cardamom, cardamom seeds, which I had, and whole cloves. So that's going in, and I'm turning this on. And I'm going to cover it, of course, because I want it to cook here and steam. and I'm going to bring it up to a boil, and then I'm going to let it simmer for 2 hours. I will set my timer for 2 hours. After that time, I'll come back in here and come back to you. And in that time, in an hour or so, I will prepare my cabbage and my onions, carrots, and potatoes. But for right now, I'm gonna go change my clothes and get out of my church clothes and let this do its thing. Now, the only one other thing I want to tell you is, when you get there, you will usually have two prices. This is a point cut, and then there's also a flat. The difference between the two, really, the point cut has more flavor than the flat, but there's less meat because there's more fat. It's part of the brisket, and you know, when I make brisket, this has been brined, so that's what makes it a corned beef brisket versus when you get just a regular brisket. Same cut of meat, just processed differently. So the point cut is got more fat to it, so it's beef. It tastes more beefy and it is juicier. Not to say that the flat cut isn't, but you get more meat with the flat cut. So usually when I'm serving a big crowd, I get one point and I get one flat. And then you kind of get a little of both. But they're both juicy. Especially the key to either one of these pieces of meat is low and slow. So like I said, I'll bring this to a boil, then I'll reduce the heat, and it will simmer low for 2 hours, and then I'll put my vegetables in, and it'll go another hour. Cooking time, yes, it's a 3-hour deal. Yes, you can do it in your crock pot, but that's not how I'm doing it. If you want to do it in the crock pot, just kind of look it up, because I don't do it in the crock pot. But that's the difference between the two cuts of meat. And usually, I think we saw today, these were $2.99 a pound, and I think the flat cut was $3.29 a pound. Both great prices at Aldi. They're usually over $6, so that's a great price. And we love them. So I will see you back here when it's time to get these vegetables in. So have a good afternoon. Bye. Well, hello everybody, and I just wanted to show you where we are. We are about 2 hours in, and we are about to add our vegetables. So it's looking good. It's just, oops, sorry. You're still plugged in. Let me unplug you so I can show you the meat. Hold on. Let's see if I can do it without losing you. There you go. So it's not attractive looking. It's just kind of gray. That's just kind of how it is. Let me flip it around and show you. I'm going to just flip it over. There you go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our vegetables to it and let it boil for another about an hour, probably about an hour. So what I have, and add and delete as you like, I have taken the core from, of course, the cabbage and cut it in wedges. And I'm going to stick that down in there. If you don't like cabbage, don't put cabbage, but it is corned beef and cabbage, kind of an integral part of it. But if you don't like cabbage, don't use it. So and that's why I use my nice big old deep pot, because I'm adding all this good stuff to it. Okay, so now I have potatoes that I have peeled. Lots of people don't. They say that is where the nutrients are, but I like them peeled. And I just cut them in big chunks, and that's going in. And then the same thing is true with my potatoes. I peeled and quartered them. So all of that's going in. And finally, hang on one second, I'm coming back. My onions. And I just didn't cut them because I wanted to show you that I cut the top off, but I left the root on. So once I cut the top off, I peeled them back, peeled the skins back. And the reason I leave the root on is because I'm going to cut this again so it's quartered, but I'm going to cut into the root so that I have a little bit of root on each piece. And what happens when you do that is it holds your onion together. So that's why I do that. instead of having loose pieces of onion in there. I've got, you know, nice whole quarters. I am going to also make a Thousand Islands dressing. And actually maybe I'll leave this onion out for that. That because I like to serve it with, we like Thousand Islands dressing, but we like homemade Thousand Islands dressing. So I'm gonna push all that down. I'm gonna put the lid back on it. I'm gonna bring it back up to just a nice simmer, and we're gonna go for another hour. So let me get this stuff together for my Thousand Islands and I'll be back. Okay, I'm gonna make the Thousand Islands dressing, and it's really good. I'm gonna start by grating my onion. And you don't wanna chop your onion for this. You wanna grate it because you want the juice. The juice, if you chop it, you won't get the juice. And that kind of imparts the flavor to the mayonnaise and the ketchup. So I'm gonna just grate it in here. It's more potent, I guess is what I'm trying to say, than just slicing an onion. So, and it also has, and it is more potent, so you don't want to go too far with it. You can always add to it, but you can't take it away, right? So this is a half of an onion, I think, and I'm doubling my recipe, by the way. So the one I give you is a single recipe, and it calls for 1/4 of a grated onion. So I'm using a half. Looks good to me. So in it goes, and make sure you get it off the back because that's where some good stuff is, back here in the back of this. All right. And I only did this first because that's the grater I was using. I wouldn't want to put it down inside of my other goop. Okay, so I've got my onion in here. So the recipe calls for 1 cup of mayonnaise. Of course, you know I'm using Duke's. That is my mayonnaise of choice. But Aldi has a really good mayonnaise too. I will say that. Okay. Here is my 2nd cup because I'm doubling it. Ugh. Just get another spoon here. I need a 1/4 cup of sweet pickle relish. I am using, of course I'm going to double it, but I'm using Wickles sweet pickle relish. This is Wickles, and it's spicy because we like spicy. But otherwise you would just use regular pickle relish. And that's gonna go. It's very simple to do, y'all. Give it a little whisk up here. Oh, I didn't get my wine or my vinegar. Sorry. Hang on 1 second. Wouldn't be a TV video if I didn't forget something, y'all. It's just the way it goes. Huh. Wonder where my sugar went to. Alrighty then. I know where it is. It's right here. Okay, so I want a tablespoon of white vinegar. Would you mind? Sorry for the background music. 1. But I do live in a house with somebody else, so he sometimes is entitled. Okay, so, and then I also need a tablespoon of sugar. in, so that looks good. I'm using 2. And finally, last but not least, to give it a little color, I've got ketchup, and that would be on the single, it would be a 1/4 cup of ketchup. So all this is grated onion, 1/4 cup of ketchup, a cup of mayonnaise, some distilled vinegar, and some sugar. I think that's all I put in here. Oh yeah, sweet pickle relish. But it is so good. You know, it's, you know, they always use Thousand Islands on a Rueben if you ever get a Rueben sandwich. So we like to use it to dip our corned beef in, you know, like you would a Heinz 57 or some kind of a little dipping sauce for the meat. When this is all done, which it is, you want to taste it and see if you need a little more vinegar. Adjust it to your taste. So let me get this stirred up and do just that. Y'all, oh no, I forgot. One of the key ingredients too is a clove of nice large clove of garlic, and you want to press it instead of chop it. If you press it, again, you'll get the juice like you did with the onion. And see, when you press it, it's not you're not going to bite into a piece of garlic, because it kind of makes it more like a paste, and that's a very key ingredient. If you don't have fresh garlic, use probably a 1/2 teaspoon of granulated garlic. All right, so let's taste it. And it's perfect, just delicious. So I'm gonna put this aside. That's cooking. I will show you the finished product when we're done. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're all done with everything. We've taken this meat out of the boiling water, and I did want to show you a few things when you're cutting it. First off,